We now have Amendment 5, proposed by Diane Bitter.
Diane is not speaking to her amendment. First person signed up is Bill Smith. Bill Smith signed up for everything, Mr. Chairman. Everything.
What can I say? I value freedom of speech, and I intend to fight for it if necessary. Hopefully not with fists, with words. I'm Bill Smith from Atkinson. I'm in favor of this because much as we would like to increase participation of young people especially, and more people who agree with us, hopefully, and maybe even persuade people, I agree with the rationale of this amendment, which is executive committee membership should be based on an election process, not on membership in an auxiliary group. Otherwise, voters some voters are to some extent being deprived of proper representation in the election by a few people who are members of small groups that are auxiliary, and that's not in keeping with our representative democratic system. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, I will tell you that the bylaw committee does not recommend this for passage, and the E-Board unanimously concurred with that. Are there any further speakers?
Yes, sir, and I agree with the two committees. Telling the college Republicans they don't have a place in the party, they don't have a place at the table. Telling young Republicans, that's Republicans under the age of 40, that they don't have a place at the table. Telling 52% of our population, women, that they don't have a place at the table is wrong. That's exclusionary. And these folks, they have their own elections, they elect their own president, chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer. So to say they're not elected is a misstatement. They were elected by their body, and the New Hampshire Republican Party expresses their inclusion of these folks by saying, come to the table, be part of the solution, don't be outside and be part of the problem. So again, keep our party growing, and as I said earlier, we need more hellos than we need goodbyes. So thank you, and please vote no on this measure.
Mr. Chairman, may I add my congratulations.
Thank you.
For your election. This is not about exclusion or inclusion. If we're not going to keep the representation amongst those who are elected, why have elections at all? This is like our southern border. Let's let everybody come in, whether they have the right to or not. Let's let everybody come in and vote and feed at the trough. Now, I think the people that we elect to represent us, to make decisions, should be the ones who do this. I can go out tomorrow and start a new splinter group. And that doesn't mean that I should have the authority to come and weigh in with the same effectiveness, the same weight as somebody who was elected by all the Republicans in his county, city, whatever. This thing is good. This keeps us with the responsibility on the people who are elected, not anybody who happens to be there. We have no credentials on the people who belong to any group. And let's stop this business of trying to make it look like we're dividing people because we want to have our elected representatives represent us. This is not about that. And I disagree strongly with the previous speaker that we are dividing people. No, we're not. We're sticking with elected representatives doing our job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dan Passon. I'm the state chair of the College Republicans, and I'm here to speak against this amendment. I am currently sitting on the e-board of the state party, and I was one of those people that voted against this amendment. And I gotta say, to go ahead and say that the college Republicans, the young Republicans, and women in New Hampshire should not have a vote on the executive committee after being fairly elected by their own delegate process is absurd. College Republicans on their own in 2018 knocked 80,000 doors and made 35,000 phone calls. Imagine a New Hampshire that did. Picture the headline on WMUR tomorrow. NHGOP removes the right to vote for college Republicans, young Republicans, and women. That is not going to help our voter bloc. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again. So my name is Tammy Simmons. I'm the chair of the Manchester Republican Committee. I am also a member of the executive board, and I voted against this as well. I'm going to set a tone here because you're going to hear me say some things later. Does anybody in this room think we have too many people involved in our party? We need more people, not less people. More people. By saying what Dan just said and saying that the young people who we asked to knock on all the doors and the Women's Federation that we asked to train people, to say that these people don't deserve a seat at the executive level is simply wrong. More Republicans, not less.
Leah Walchko from Goffstown, so I'm kind of of two minds about this. Obviously, I want more and not less as well, but here's my problem. Like, the log cabin Republicans don't get to come up on that executive board and have it vote, and they're an important subgroup of ours. The New Hampshire House Republican Alliance, those are elected members of the House. They're all Republicans. They have their own particular bent, their angle that they look at the world through. They don't get a vote on the executive board. And I almost sounds like soft bigotry to me to say that women could not get on that board and vote, but for them being a member of some splinter group that then lets them get up there. Well, any group that's smaller than the whole is a splinter group. It's a subset. Women can get on that board. Young people can get on that board. Gay people better very soon be able to get on that board, because this is starting to get embarrassing. But in any event, it shouldn't be certain small subsets get a vote without going through the process and others don't. So I am of two minds about it, but I'm going to vote that we do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I rise as the youngest elected Republican in the legislature. My name is Joe Alexander. I represent the town of Goffstown, in the same town as Leah. I'm also a member of the Goffstown Budget Committee. I'm a conservative, and I'm a lifelong Republican, and I'm also the former chairman of the New Hampshire College Republicans. If we take away voting power of women, young Republicans, and college Republicans, we are sending the message that the Republican Party is closed to people under the age of 40. This is absolutely wrong, and I hope the party overwhelmingly rejects this rule change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations.
Thank you again.
My name is Ross Berry. I'm from beautiful Manchester, New Hampshire, where our roads are pocked with potholes and our progressive mayor is more concerned about porta potties than leading. I plug, don't vote for. I'm also the treasurer of the Young Republicans here in the state. I imagine our chairman would be up here speaking, but he is a party employee, so that would be inappropriate. Not going to echo on to too much what has already been said. But I actually understand both sides of the argument here. I get it. But what I will say is, as the treasurer of the Young Republicans, I can report that we have 157 members. We have 45 members in this body today, and that this last cycle, we had 53 Young Republicans sign up to run for office, the most we've ever had ever. And finally, Mr. Chairman, we raised more money for the organization this last cycle than ever before. And to take our seat away at the table, I believe is going to sends the wrong message. We're out there working as the Young Republicans. We're going to get more Young Republicans elected. I promise you that, Mr. Chairman. We're going to be right there in the trenches with you. All we're asking for is a seat at the table.
Thank you.
We have one final question, Marie.
Speaker.
No more speakers.
No more speakers?
So I was instructed to call the question after my first question. My question is, can you explain the process, or maybe the former Brian Gould, who was vice chair, I guess, at one point, explain the process by which various groups get added to the list Because right now, there's a select group of 3, but it could be more, it could be less. What is that process, so everybody in the room understands it? And then I call the question.
That I don't have the information, but I will refer to somebody who does.
I know the answer.
Tammy, step forward and enlighten us all.
Any organization can move to be added to the executive board by simply proposing a bylaw amendment that this body would approve. At that last week's executive board meeting, we actually discussed whether the New Hampshire Log Cabin Republicans should be on the board or not. But we realized we did not have that authority to just simply add them. This body would have to decide, and it was too late to make the amendment. So next year, if they want to come to this body and say we would like a seat at the table, this body will decide.
Thank you, Tammy. The question has been called. Is there a second? Second. There's been a second. All those in favor of this amendment, please stand with your credentials held high. The chair is going to determine that there is not a 2/3 of the body is not standing right now, and so they do not get the necessary 2/3 vote to pass this amendment.
GOP TV.